fellas, I am back, and more rejuvenated than ever. You may notice that there's no cool intro yet, and that's because, well, I'm going to hold off on doing that. Turns out 3D modeling and animating isn't as easily self-taught as you would think. I'm taking a class for 3D modeling animation though, so don't worry, if there is an intro to come, it won't happen soon. That's a huge project waiting to be done at a different time. But who cares about that? Let me tell you about what I have been doing for the past few weeks while on break. 2 words. Guilty Gear. Yes, I caved and bought Strife, and it is damn awesome. I'm not usually one to like 2D fighters, having grown up with Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate, spinning in my PlayStation 2, almost as much as some of the other classics like, well, Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank. Man, I grew up in the right period. You ever get that? Like, I had friends back then, playing was all fun and whatnot, but after I got home from elementary school, 6-year-old me knew it was gamer time. 21-year-old me now still knows it's gamer time, however sad that might sound, but don't worry because I still do my homework. Some people dub that a poor childhood, but to that, we were talking about something else, weren't we? Oh, right. Guilty Gear Strife. I am about to tell you the ride I had learning this game. So, unironically, after I purchased it, I spent over 5 hours in the trainer just trying to get the hang of it all. Guilty Gear is a very particular beast. It's something that I've never really played before. Like Mortal Kombat, just to name a 2D fighter, utilizes simple combos intermingling with directional and face button inputs, while Guilty Gear is much more free-flowing feeling. The game actually rewards precise and well-timed play, where your meters and all that get bonuses from playing well. Obviously, other fighters have something like this, just in the form of intrinsic benefits, as in, you get to extend your combo because you're inputting properly. But it's not the same thing. Like with Guilty Gear, if you do it right, you're not a button masher, you actually get a tax deduction. It's wonderful. Combos at the surface appear restrictive and formulaic, but I found myself completely wrong an hour or two in. Sure, characters only have at most 10 moves in their list, but from there, you can incorporate massive game-shifting combinations of specials with those basic moves, and that's where you find this sweet spot and truly learn the character. It helps that it's the only fighter I've ever actually played with my analog stick solely, rather than the D-pad like normal. Given the PlayStation 5's controller feels much more geared for single-player games and FPSs, but even then, I tried an Xbox gamepad and found the results similar. I much more prefer the stick to the buttons. I think that's because of the surprisingly simple yet difficult directional inputs to implement special moves, like Soul Bad Guys, love that name by the way, Bandit Revolver, or even better, pretty much every character's ultimate move input, where you need to place the stick on one side and then quick roundabout, then return. It was a genuinely, really challenging feat, learning how Guilty Gear played, but the absolute second I got the hang of it, hours of minor frustration turned into gratifying ass-kicking. Guilty Gear is just filled with awesome playable characters, each very unique on their own. I personally main Ino, because her rush capability and quick cancel opportunities make for an incredibly fun character who also has that rocker witch succubus type vibe. She's literally a rated R playable hex girl. There's no better reason to not play her. She's also rated in the middle tiers in most tier lists, which further appeals to me since, in case you didn't know, I really like going against meta and trying to prevail with those tactics. I've done that for years actually, well before I even thought about trying to really do YouTube. Just to give an example, during the great times of Advanced Warfare,
Call of Duty,
Advanced Warfare, Xbox One.
Copy that.
while everyone was stuck in their ways using the BAL-27 and ASM-1, I was giving them my own 2 cents with sleeper hits like the Lynx and EM1. Before its buff, by the way. Did I really just reference an 8-year-old dead Call of Duty to make comparison with my preferred playstyles?
Answer yes!
Man, Advanced Warfare was fun. My favorite is still Black Ops 2, but regardless, it was all just some great times. I won't lie, I tried the game because I saw Charlie's moist esports player, Hotashi, absolutely killing it with Nagoriyuki, and for other reasons. Great transition for what I really like about the game, the fanservice roster. Of the 18 playable characters, I honestly like all of them for not just unique playstyles, but also their personalities. Between Faust's oddly endearing creepiness, Kai's sense of duty, and Ramlethal's, or as I call her by accident many times now, Ramletines for some stupid reason, soft-spoken lethality, and of course Eno's horny levels. Everyone is very much their own person that doesn't require a story mode or outside reading to understand what they're all about. That's not something that other fighters can really claim to do if you ask me. I mean, these characters are so well realized that I was able to remember their names damn near instantly. But please, we've been dodging the subject this entire time. You've heard it in the background the entire video now. There's something else that this game has the absolute greatest advantage over most competitors, and that's the character-based soundtrack. If you've ever seen my other videos, if you haven't, make sure you do, you know that I am a sucker for the succor of the great soundtracks. And does Guilty Gear have a banging set list? Instead of stage music like most other fighters, the actual characters themselves, like the ones you play, or well, in most cases the person you're actually facing against, have their own song playing, and it's just really the best thing ever. Each one is very distinct and reflects the personality and ambitions of the people they represent. It's genuinely hard to choose a favorite. The genres shift quite often, but metal and hard rock seem to be the primary style of choice, while they sometimes veer off into more poppy sounds. And, well, I gotta admit, if I was to ever choose a favorite, it would have to be between Ramlethal, Sol, Jacko, May, Potemkin, Kai, Faust, oh wait, I like all of them. Yeah, actually, that's the thing. I was going to list about, well, literally the entire cast, about for who gets my favor. And that's the funny part, they're all that good. Okay, listen. May is the one I go back to the most. Her theme is just so damn catchy. Absolutely love it. I mean, of course, May might just be borderline broken, but that does not at all change the fact that her song is just so damn good. Oh shit. Is that a... Wait, hold on. Is that a crescendo? Am I about to show you a compilation of me beating some ass to some music? Yes, I am. You know how we do it around here. Bitches! Now, of course, music is everything, but art is also everything. And this game's art style is easily the best utilization of 3D models made to look like 2D anime people, period. As Cuphead a few years ago proved, you can make a game completely from hand-drawn 2D assets. And a couple thousand hours. But here's where culpable equipment comes out above that incredibly time-consuming process. 3D modeling characters that appear 2D in nature? There's just many benefits to doing this, and it's easily seen just from playing a single match. For one thing, you don't need to physically draw the character over and over again, like animation. Instead, you have super well stylized 3D assets that look 2D in most settings. They achieved this animated look even greater with their chosen animated frame rate, going with a classic 24 frames per second approach. This makes literally every move look hand-drawn, with the only downside being you just gotta get a little bit used to it, because there is a tiny bit of adjustment seeing how most games are defaulted to 60 frames, or at least preferred, even on lower end PCs like mine. Another benefit to going the 24 FPS route is that you actually have much more freedom to implement crazy awesome poses and style within the movements of these characters, which actually, in turn, aid the player in recognizing incoming moves and attacks. But of course, the biggest thing with this approach is the ability to take these 2D look models and do whack-ass shit with the camera and not have to put in the hundreds of man-hours just to draw, say, Faust bony-ass 400 times from 1 or 2 unique camera movements. The game feels really good once you grow accustomed to the 24 FPS animation style. I was able to run the game on max at 60 frames per second with ne'er a single drop, even for the biggest of moves. If you are weirded out or just confused as to why I said the game plays at 60, but the fighters are animated at 24, it's just simply because the environments and everything else in the screen space, minus the animated things, are at whatever frame rate you put it at, since they're still 2.5D or just straight up 3D backgrounds. It's hard to tell, and I think that's the best compliment a game with this much style can truly receive. A last side note, I have been playing this game on a laptop with an i7 CPU, an NVIDIA 1060 graphics chip, with 16 gigs of RAM on an SSD. But again, this game is truly not all that heavy, so you can definitely run it on even lower end machines, but probably not at 60. Don't worry though, the game feels great pretty much no matter what. And that, well, really about wraps it up. I mean, I could talk more, I could just show another cool-ass compilation, but yeah, I think you guys really get the point. It is... Guilty Gear is awesome. Guilty Gear is seriously awesome. Like, I am actually blown away by how fun it is. I haven't liked a 2D fighter in such a long time. I'm off script, by the way. That's why I'm stuttering. Yeah, like, totally, go get it. If it's on sale, please buy it. It's on Steam, it's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation. Don't think it's on Switch. Pretty sure it's not on Switch. Actually, I don't even think I can run on Switch. Well, maybe, who knows. Definitely one of the best, like, styles I've ever played. As for next video, I'm thinking about doing the Last Guardian review. No, I did not forget. Don't worry. I keep track of these things. Remember, I have a whiteboard. I remember. I will address that. That might be the next thing. Aside from that, though, actually, I really have a big question. So, whenever I wanted to actually do YouTube, like really go for it, I wanted to be a Let's Player. I really wanted to be in that same realm as, like, you know, Jacksepticeye and Markiplier, the big boys. Problem is, Let's Playing is a bit out of date if you're not those guys. So, I have a question. Do you guys think you would watch me Let's Play the games that I'm going to make a video of? I would stream them, but I just don't want to stream yet. I don't have the necessary room, look, and freedom, and whatever else that comes with streaming. So, I mean, yeah, if you want to see me Let's Play The Last Guardian, dude, tell me. That'd actually be a lot of fun. Please say yes. I could just pull the It's My Channel card and then say, yeah, too bad we're doing this, bitches. But, who knows? Well, you know what? That's really about it. Thank you for watching. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I promise you there's better things coming this way. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, I kindly implore you to go check them out. I'm just Sheen. Have a good night.